You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got a little something on Caitlin Clark, a couple of things. Number one, where does she stand on playing in this 3x3 basketball league that so many of these WNBA players have jumped over into? As we know, I did a video on the fact that the Unrivaled League has what they're referring to as a Lionel Messi kind of offer, the same kind of offer that MLS gave Messi in order to come play in their league. Now, obviously, Messi got offered a lot more money. It was $150 million. They're offering Caitlin Clark somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. I think it's going to be the highest paid salary there, obviously, in that league. And, of course, some kind of ownership. But all these players are getting some kind of equity in these teams. Now, that said, they may cut her in on some kind of television action, something like that. And the only reason this league can do that is because they've got the TNT Sports. That the TNT is trying to move itself in the direction of being a more sports centralized entity. And the Unrivaled League is one of the main business ventures they're going to have, and they're putting ownership money behind the league. And also, we got something else involving her that she's doing with a very high-profile interviewer, and his name is one David Letterman. So we will get to that. That's going to be at a university. With a Messi-like deal, Messi-like offer or contract or deal reportedly on the table, Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark still isn't sure if she'll be participating in any off-season basketball leagues this winter. Now, what I find interesting about this answer is she was pretty steadfast in the idea that she would not be doing any other basketball this off-season. Now, she's softened that stance. Quote, "We'll see," Clark told the Indy Star and ESPN. "I don't know. Just taking it as it goes and see if I want to play eventually." That's interesting because, as we know, when the season was still going in the WNBA, the answer was no. She wasn't going to do anything else in the offseason except play golf. That was her answer actually right after the season ended. Front Office Sports reported last month Unrivaled, a startup 3x3 league co-founded by WNBA players Breanna Stewart and Nafisi Collier, has reportedly given Clark a lucrative offer to try to entice her to join the league. Now, multiple of Clark's friends have joined Unrivaled, including Fever teammates Aaliyah Boston and Lexi Hull, and former Iowa teammate Kate Martin. A lot of people believe that's going to be the move that might get her in there. "We're going to have a roster spot for Caitlin Clark," Unrivaled president Alex Brazel told Sportico in October. "We're not applying a full court press in the way people think. We are letting her decompress from basketball. She knows we have a spot for her when she's ready." Now, of course, we know why they want her in there, and we've talked about that because the league's not going to make it without Caitlin Clark. I don't see any way in hell it's going to make it. Even with Caitlin Clark, you still have, and I've talked about this, the obstacle of people wanting to watch 3x3 basketball. Do you want to watch that? At first, when I heard she might play, I was like, well, that's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be worth checking out. But you're going to be competing full steam ahead directly against the NFL in January when that league starts. And it's going to be important NFL games at that point. Okay, we're talking playoffs, etc. I'm not missing playoff football for a 3x3 league. And the other thing is, I think a lot of people want to see what Caitlin Clark can do in the WNBA when she's had a full off season to be able to recover, not an NC2A, you know, college tournament run, college season, none of that. No Olympics that she, she did get a break for that, but obviously eventually she'll play in the Olympics. But they want to see when she's fully rest what that's going to look like. So, I think a lot of people, and she's going to be playing with a lot of players that can't stand her. And I think that's the other thing. What is the benefit for her? Because she obviously makes plenty of money from a salary standpoint. So let's go ahead and pivot over to Caitlin Clark joining David Letterman. David Letterman is going to host Caitlin Clark at Ball State University. I believe that is Jason Whitlock's university. Anyway, is going to host Caitlin Clark and going to be setting down, I guess, a la the same way he has I don't know if he still has the Netflix series where he has all these different celebrities on there for these sit-down interviews. I don't know if this is part of it, but Caitlin Clark's going to be joining David Letterman. Letterman will interview Caitlin Clark on campus at Eamons Auditorium on Monday, December the 2nd at 7 p.m. This is part of David Letterman's Distinguished Professional Lecture and Workshop Series, which was established by the university in 2008. So maybe it's actually just university sponsored, and I wonder, maybe he's an alum there. David Letterman is, there we go. He is an alum. David Letterman is our university's most famous graduate. He's a native Hoosier, and a national icon. Caitlin Clark has quickly become a beloved Hoosier and national star, said Ball State University President Jeffrey Mearns. I anticipate their conversation will be very special. On behalf of Ball State, we are honored to host them. And it goes on to give the accolades, of course, of Caitlin Clark. We know Letterman, of course. He's the former host of Late Night with David Letterman and The Late Show with David Letterman. University officials said he has generously given back to Ball State over the years, most notably through his lecture series. Previous guest, Oprah, Rachel Maddow, and Biz Stone. I don't know who Biz Stone is. So anyway, I'm not sure I'm overly impressed by that list of guests, but I do think he might have had Jerry Seinfeld on there. It seems like I watched that one. And a couple of other actual celebrities on there that ended up being pretty decent interviews, actually. And of course, I mean, I believe he had like the number one late night talk show for years. Probably not while Johnny Carson was still around. Well, a little bit would overlap with Carson. I'm sure Carson was number one back then, but I can't remember. I mean, I can remember both shows, and I watched both shows because I'm that old. I just can't remember, which one was the big dog as far as ratings goes back in those days. But that could be interesting. A sit down with Caitlin Clark, it might be worth checking out. We've all seen how much she gets paid for lectures. A 30-minute virtual speaking engagement for Caitlin Clark is a $100,000 bill. Yeah, she's good on money, unrivaled. I don't know that she needs to come to your league. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.